in rebuilding the computer, actually.
Okay.
Not tonight. I mean,
so you're having
you're
having technical difficulties. What you're saying?
Well, remember when I was telling you I was having computer issues?
Yes.
I had to totally fucking reinstall Windows blank.
I'm sorry.
New computer. I mean, the computer's fine now. I just got into work. I haven't even eaten.
Would you like me to say a little prayer for you as far as the reinstalling Windows?
I mean, I'm up and running now. I've been fucking with it on the evenings when I get home, and trying to get things back prep where I can.
I understand. It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm just not like I ain't even showered. I'm bringing a propel drink right now for all the fucking water that I drank all day.
Yeah, right on. All right, man. I'll don't worry about it. We'll catch up this weekend.
I am home all weekend working on computers and trying to get them.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you later. Oh. Okay, that's not good. Says there's two people here. Oh, Sam's here.
How's it going?
Sam, are you there?
I'm here. I am. Well, I'm somewhere.
Oh, Sam, it's so good to hear your voice.
Likewise.
Hold on, I've just realized my audio is not going into my headphones. There we go. Now we're cooking.
Now we're cooking with gas.
Yes, sir. Now we are cooking with gas. Good evening to you, sir. How are you?
I am well. Yourself?
Yeah. Strikes and gutters. Like the dude.
You doing the gutters? Oh, strikes and gutters. Okay, gotcha. I thought for a second, maybe you were on the roof doing the gutters. I'm like, wait a second. You can't be doing that.
If I was on the roof, like doing the gutters, I would definitely have a camera up there and I would be live streaming. You know that I would.
There's an idea for a show.
I mean, because odds are I would probably get up there drunk and I would probably fall off.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a good stream though. You got to weigh things out.
It is good TV or good stream. You're right.
It's good TV.
I was thinking we can do a whole show based on home improvement and do-it-yourself stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're actually, there was a long-running show called Home Improvement, so I don't see why we couldn't do that. Yeah.
If Tim Allen could do it, so could we.
And those shows are still pretty popular, right? Where they like fix up houses and stuff.
Oh, you're talking about those house flippers and the house makeover where,
Yeah, it's on those channels that I don't know what the channels are, but you know what I'm talking about,
Probably TLC is like the last one that I remember doing stuff like that.
I can't, TLC sounds familiar. It's it's part of, I think it's all part of the Discovery,
Yeah, exactly.
I used to watch this dude and his wife that they fix up houses in like Mississippi.
Mississippi?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Pretty popular show. Hometown, which that could be the name of any of those shows, really, if you think about it.
There's so many. Honestly, yeah. I think there's so many of them. I can't even. I mean, there was like there was like the twins. There was that show with the twins, and they would redesign, remodel, demo, rebuild the house, and it was like someone would get a brand new kitchen or something.
Oh yeah,
and there'd be a big reveal. Oh my god, it's so great!
One of them's married to the new girl. That's the only thing I really know about.
Yeah.
Dushin, you know that girl. That's the Dushinal.
Zoe Deschanel.
That's the one. That's the
Yeah.
one. That's the one.
What I really want to know is why do I remember these things? It's like,
And her sister was on Bones.
yeah.
I really feel terrible. Other Doshinal sister. I don't remember. It was Zoe and no.
Oh,
No.
there was more than one of them. Okay.
Yeah, there's two of them. Yeah. They're
Deschanel.
sisters. Zoe and okay. Well, you were awesome on Bumps. Hey, dude, look who's in the chat. Stella.
Stella
Hey,
Bowen.
Stella, what's up? Long time no see, Stella.
What's up? What's up?
What do you mean? Grandma's just an ambulance.
So, what brings y'all to Substack Live this fine August Thursday evening?
I mean, nothing really. I was just like, maybe I'll go live for a minute, see if anybody's around. I really don't have any agenda.
I must have sensed the disturbance in the force and checked my email and it said, "Oh, look, Billy's online. Let me go check it out."
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I get those emails.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know.
Yeah. It is what it is. Like, I think I have, sometimes I get them, sometimes I don't. There's some setting in Substack where it does like smart notifications, smart in scare quotes, like depending on where it thinks you are, it sends you a notification, I think.
Hey, you know what? If we do our other secret show that we're talking about doing, we really got to get Stella back on there. Because
For
I
real.
think that's a perfect guest right there.
Yes, sir.
Stella, do we have a gig for you when we start our new thing?
We have grand visions and we'd like you to be part of them.
Yes, yes. Eldritch Visions, if you will.
So how's your summer been?
Stella says she's down for a secret show. Right on.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Can't wait. We'll get the band back together. You know?
Yeah. Right.
Get the band back together.
We got the band going.
You remember Sling Blade? Where he's like
Yeah.
you ever see where Dwight Yoakam's in it? And he's like, I thought we'll get the band together tonight, you know? And she's like, I don't think you know how y'all get. No, it'll be cool, baby. I'll get the band together, you know? They're all drunk as hell, and they're like, yeah. And they're like, shut, and like his neighbor's like, shut up. And he's like, fuck you, motherfucker.
Like Veronica used to be on the Archies. I'm missing the reference.
I only play cards with the goddamn sheriff, you know?
Yeah.
I almost got a copy of Sling Blade the other day, but it wasn't up to my standards.
How does that work? Like, what's your criteria for?
Well, I mean, the criteria is not as it's not as hardcore as you would think, because most of the discs are usually okay, you know.
Right.
It's when you start getting into the VHS part.
Yeah. Well,
That becomes a thing, because where I live, it gets it's very hot and very humid.
right.
So what you have to do is, and I'll illustrate it with this copy of My Cousin Vinny. All right.
Okay.
What you have to do is I'm talking like this is rocket science. You just have to kind of pull it out and really check out the tape reels.
Uh-huh.
And make sure that there's no like mold or whatever, because like you can see it'll be like little white specks.
Interesting.
You know?
Okay. Yeah.
And because you can clean that, you know, and you can,
like directly off the tape.
Yeah, but you have to take the tape apart
Mm-hmm.
and wind the tape out. And if you think there's a lot of tape on like audio cassettes when they used to get caught up in the tape player back in the day.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of tape on one of those things. And there's little springs in there. And so to put it all back together, you have to get all the, you have to line all these little springs up and stuff. And it's really more trouble than it's worth.
Yeah, I would imagine you also need like a special table, maybe some equipment, like special screws. So right.
You need like you gotta have, you gotta have those like jeweler screwdrivers, which I do have.
Yeah.
But it helps if you have like a couple of reels that you can run it, you can run like one reel to, where you can like, because you basically have to glove up and and get some kind of like cleaning solution and like feed the tape kind of like, through your fingers
and
clean it. And you can only do so much, and then you got to let it sit and dry. You know what I mean? Then you do it. And I mean, it's not worth the trouble, Where for a lot of this stuff, you can just go on eBay and like order one that doesn't have mold on it for like $4.95, so.
Yeah, so that's got to be the challenge. Do I buy the $2 one at the garage sale, or do I get the $5 one that's like brand spanking new?
It's like, how much do you love this hobby and how much time do you have? It's kind of like, and
I don't know. I mean, I'm not a hardcore collector. You are, so I wouldn't know that world.
I mean, like, bro, I would rather just like get one that you have to do the most minimal. If you have to do any repair or cleaning, the most minimal as possible.
Right. Well, I remember back in the day reconstructing a few cassette tapes, but
yeah, right.
And I think I even may have worked on the old like reel editing systems, the reel-to-reel editing systems where you'd like rewind stuff and cut and then paste. Like, so I may have actually touched. I'm not going to say worked on because that's rather glamorous. I may have touched that equipment somewhere in my 20s, like playing around with stuff like that.
I have one of those. I have like an editor thing like that where for Super 8.
Right.
So yeah, that's probably what you're talking about. But you can physically, you can basically just fix that stuff. If you got a good pair of scissors and like and some decent Scotch tape.
Right, like an X-Acto knife and a cutting board and just. I mean, that's pretty much how they did it back in the day, isn't it?
It's exactly, because when we were in film school, we worked on like we still screwed around with film.
Right.
And so we would run on those big like 4 and 6 plate Steenbecks, where like you're actually, you got a thing that's like that's running you got a screen, okay? It passes through it passes over a bulb, and it rear projects it up onto the screen so you can see what's happening on the, and so you can see the image, and so you got like a controller that basically like a forward and a reverse. So you load those big plates up with film, and then when you need to make a cut, you mark it where you want to cut it, and then they had like it was like a miniature version. Like, remember they used to set us loose in class, like back in the day with those giant paper cutters with like the giant arm on there, where you could literally like you could literally lose fingers using that thing. Okay.
Oh my God.
It was like a little tiny version of that,
Yeah.
And like, so, it would fit, 35 millimeter and down,
Wood shop, metal shop. I mean,
So you would just cut that thing, you cut it at an angle, and then you cut where your other mark is, and then you take that piece of film out, however, and then You dump that into a bin, and then you bring the tape together at the 245s and or the film, and you put it was basically like really solid grade Scotch tape is what it was.
Mhm.
And that's what you did. And then you'd have to do the same thing with the sound, so it all stays
matched,
synced.
right?
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
that is painstaking.
Because you're running sound on another set of reels.
Mm-hmm. Right, your audio and visual. Yeah, right. It was 2 separate tracks, basically.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing. That like when they do the clapper, that's why they did that.
That's your sync. That's your synchronization.
That's your sync. That's your sync. See, that's how you would sync up that's how you'd sync up the audio with the film.
This is some deep film school here, guys.
Because you would see it come down, and then
Right.
you sync the noise to the where because the clapper has those like vertical lines on it.
Yep.
And so when you would do it like basically frame by frame until you get it where it closes.
Yeah.
Where it's gonna pop the sound, and then that's where you put the pop, and then you're synced up.
I did one class in TV video production, and we were editing.
Yeah.
I forgot the format, but we had to use physical editors and sound like when lead in with the sound like for news. When there's when
you were probably doing either 16 or 8. It's probably It could have been 16.
And it was, I forgot the cameras. We had to white balance them. We had to zoom in, focus, zoom out.
Oh, if you were white balancing, you were shooting video.
Yeah, they were over the shoulder video. Yeah, it was like TV news, TV production, that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what camera you're talking about, probably, but I cannot. I had a buddy who was in our film group with us. Well, I mean, we're still friends, but he was working. He already had a job with the local TV station. So
gotcha. Yeah.
So when we were shooting stuff on video, like they would let him use like all the gear from the TV station. So we had like we had the good camera and shit, Yeah. And they would let us sneak up there at night to the TV station, but we'd have to go up there at it would have to be like after midnight.
Right.
Because it wasn't like that long ago, but it was kind of like hey, TV's off for the night,
right.
Remember when TV just stopped, like
and then you had those bars, those static bars of color.
The test pattern. Yeah. So they would let us come up there and they would let us use their editing bay.
Wow.
As long as he was there, because he was the one who actually worked for the. Yeah,
I mean that's like sacred to have access to physical equipment like that, because that was
pretty cool.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool because I mean they had good gear,
right?
And they had good editing stuff. We had decent editing stuff in our editing room at the school.
Right.
But because we would do one major project on video, and then we would do one major project on film.
Wow, cool.
Every semester. So
this is college you're talking about, right? Undergrad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
and,
that's so crazy.
Yeah, it was always fun though to go up there and actually cut the film the old school way.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pain in the ass, but it was cool too. It was fun.
Yeah, there's something about that, like doing things the old way to really understand why you do what you do now.
Yeah.
And maybe you don't want to do that forever, obviously, but to just understand the fundamentals, that makes perfect sense.
I mean, that nothing teaches you a lesson, okay? After you and like 2 or 3 of your buddies in your film group have all thrown in and like bought like expensive like color 16 millimeter film. You know what I mean?
Right.
And because
And you don't
back
want to
then,
waste that stuff on stupid
yeah,
stuff.
we'd have to send it. I mean, we'd have to, there was no video village, there was no instant playback.
Right.
You had to be really careful because
Yeah.
nothing teaches you a lesson like you send that stuff, and we would send it off to all the labs were in Dallas, so we'd FedEx it to Dallas, and then it would take them a week to process it or so and send it back. And when the first time you get a reel back and like you fucked up, you fucked up the exposure or something, and I mean that taught you more than like anything.
It's a painful lesson, but you learn not to. You learn to prepare really well.
Yeah, because I mean, like we're buying expensive film stock and having it processed off of like basically like
Right.
bullshit college jobs, and
I mean, that's an interesting change in paradigm, right? So, like, access to physical media and really money was the barrier,
yeah.
right? Where now, I don't know if that's the barrier so much. It's other stuff that's the barrier. It's maybe talent, saturation, interest, or demand. I don't know what to even think about
I
in
mean,
terms of what the barrier is now.
technically, okay. Ever since editing software got to be fairly reasonable,
Right.
and when you got to the point where, and I mean, you can trick them out, and like you can add like really fancy professional lenses that will connect to like an iPhone. But like
Yeah, definitely.
when they started shooting movies on like iPhones and stuff,
Yeah.
and then you just carry it over to your Mac or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
and you edit the whole thing right there.
Yeah.
So you're not as limited as you were. The problem is that you're suddenly in a situation where like a ton of people have access to that.
Right.
So
Right.
you're competing against a lot more people.
Yeah, it's like a volume
you were.
saturation problem. Right.
Yeah, it's like remember when Kindles suddenly became a big thing and like everybody was like publishing books on Amazon. You know?
Yep.
Suddenly
And now there's
you go from like a couple of thousand books or whatever that that publishers and independent publishers around the world are putting out a year, okay, to 2 or 3 million books a year.
Yeah. I was just listening to a podcast probably like yesterday or the day before, and about like in medieval Japan, when like a monk would publish a book, the idea of publishing was they would take his notes and a scribe would literally write them out into a volume, and that was publishing.
Yeah.
So like, and think about now where, well, one person can do it all himself, whatever or herself, whatever they have to say.
There's a professional editing program. It's called Vellum. I think I think it's called Vellum. And I have a friend who has the software. And so what used to take us a couple of people in like weeks to like go through and format and edit a book.
Yep.
She can upload the manuscript, and this is like pre-AI. It's not AI or any of that crap. Okay,
Uh-huh.
it's just it's just a publishing program,
Yeah.
and she can upload like a whole novel. About 2 minutes later, tops, it's spitting it out formatted perfectly, where you can just send it straight off to the publisher.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And here I am over here going, I think I might write a book on a typewriter.
Well, we're back to the process of somehow physical media. I don't know, bringing something.
I mean, I think about it all the time, man. And I was watching it. I was watching a YouTube video today while I was on the exercise bike, and this, they were talking about like there's people that are like, remember, like, do you remember oh God, what was it called? Word Perfect.
I remember writing. Yes, I'm not going to even date myself, but yeah, I remember Word Perfect.
And there was another one called Word Star.
I remember Word Star. Yes, sir.
A lot of there's a lot of people who are screwing around with those now because they're just no frills. You know what I mean?
And it was easy to fuck up. It was really, there was no undo. There was no undo the way there is now. There was no redo, undo. There was no buffer to save stuff, no copy paste. Really,
I remember.
it was very...
I remember writing on Word Perfect, dude.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And you'd have to go to the. I mean, unless you were rich and like had your own computer, and you'd have to go to the computer lab and sit there
and then inevitably something would happen. You would lose your work, like a whole day a whole day of writing would be gone. You'd be like slamming the table and cursing up. I remember those days. Hopefully
you backed what up you were working on a floppy disk.
Yep.
Or you were screwed. But there's a lot of like I guess a lot of like legit writers are still using like WordStar and stuff because they started out on it and they just like you can't even like you have to run an MS DOS emulator on your PC now to even be able to load it and to use it.
Exactly.
So it's kind of crazy, but people are still doing it.
And you know what though? If you came up doing that, your mind is used to working like that. And it might actually, it's counterintuitive, but you might be more efficient, or it might just be more productive for you to work that way, because just the same way you said you like to write your draft out by hand. And once you start typing, you're done, right? You said that a while back ago. Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, so you have this crazy method that just doesn't seem like it should work, except it works for you.
Because that's how I did it the first time I ever did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not in the screenplay situation though.
Well, don't you have to format things?
I can go right to the. Yeah. It's I use a program which is pretty much industry standard. It's called Final Draft.
Yeah, I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, and it's that's what and that's what it does. It's set up just to write screenplays.
All right, I got to ask you a hyper detailed question.
Okay.
One or two spaces after a period.
Forever. Okay. All right. I will answer you. Okay. I will answer you.
Okay.
Now it's one.
Now it's one. Right.
Now it's one. I learned to type in typing class on a typewriter.
Right.
And then it was two.
And then it was two. Right. Yeah. I grew up learning that as well.
You and I are of similar age, so
indeed.
Yeah, we are from the two space generation.
Yes.
I can tell you that one of the hardest muscle memory things I ever had to overcome in this space was going from to.
Yep.
It was near impossible and probably took me 3 years to retrain myself.
Yeah. I remember the first time I started switching to single space. I mean, yeah, one space after the period. What I would do is I would type things out with the two spaces. Then I would do a global replace of the two spaces into one space.
Yeah. I
And
had
there
to
was
do
something.
that. I had to do that for a while too.
Yeah.
Because I would inevitably fuck the formatting up somewhere.
There was something satisfying about watching like this huge block of text across multiple pages just compress
Just go,
because all the spaces disappeared. Right.
Yeah. And I write things that are like 130,000 words. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's there's a lot to it. Yeah.
Good times. Good times.
Yeah, it's not good times, but I can't stop myself. Yeah, but yeah, I'm with you there because we all took typing because because they made it. The guy who ran the computer lab in high school, he to kind of weed idiots out, I hate to say this, but yeah, to kind of weed out, the fuck ups and people who weren't really serious. He made it a prerequisite that you had to take typing first.
Ah, okay. So like the barrier to entry was
he wouldn't let anybody in there. I was already though. I was already working with the newspaper, the high school newspaper.
Okay.
But the computer guy was still like, yeah, no exceptions. You still got to take typing. So I mean, all it did was make me type faster.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we didn't have any hard cases like that. I mean, I can't think of anyone. I mean, the librarian was the strictest guy I remember, and he didn't care about the computers. I don't think he even knew how to use a computer, but
yeah. Our guy was like a real like computer dude, like he I think he used to work for like Texas Instruments or something like that, and they got a grant and had all these really nice Macintoshes, like remember when a Macintosh was like a box, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yep. I remember.
Yeah. So we had all these at the time, they were like, oh, these are so fancy,
Yeah.
And so he was really serious, and he didn't want people in there who weren't serious and would like who wouldn't respect the equipment and stuff. So.
Right. No, well, I mean, the stuff was expensive back then, and let's be honest, there plenty of knuckleheads would have loved to mess those things up or knock them off.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, because you could take like another computer class. Like this was kind of like advanced computer class or whatever. And you could take another one where you were just like fucking around with like Apple IIe's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the stuff, like they made another lab of like the old stuff. Okay, before they got all these nice Macs and stuff.
Right.
But like we had a couple of Macs in the newspaper room too.
Yeah.
Because we ran newspaper and yearbook out of the same room.
Did you guys ever run logo in your Mac lab?
Yeah, for sure.
That's one of the classes I remember having to learn.
Yeah.
And it was like basically it taught you programming, and you told the turtle how to move, and the turtle would draw lines.
Yeah, for sure. That was like, ooh. I mean, I remember my old man got me I talked my old man into buying me a Commodore 64. That's
the OG, man.
Which was a big deal back in the day,
It was like, huge.
I was like, hey Pop, I really need this thing, for like school and stuff, and I mean, like I didn't, what I mean?
And you were gonna use it to play games.
Of course I was using it to play games because my buddy Mike, his dad owned the computer store in town.
So you can get all the games you want.
Yeah. So he was like, hey, here's a copy of this. Here's a copy of that. You know?
Yep.
And I'd be
Yep.
like,
I
okay.
remember going in. Remember Games and Gadgets?
Yeah,
So
kind of. Yeah. I think I remember that one.
what was your whatever your I mean, so Texas. So first of all, the Ultima games came out of Texas, I believe. Richard Garriott, Origin Systems. I think all of that came out of Texas, Austin, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
Austin's always been like, Austin and to an extent, Dallas has always been really techy.
Right.
But
So by me, they had these stores called Games and Gadgets. That was the original GameStop, or as I remember it.
We had a thing in the mall.
In the mall,
that
exactly.
sold
Yes.
games.
Yes.
And
So one
I
of those
don't
stores.
remember what it was called, but it could have very well been one of those.
I remember going into those stores when I ever got stuck on a game like Zork or one of those really hard at the time text adventures or mysteries that I couldn't solve.
Yeah, yeah.
So one of my fun stops was going into one of those stores and talking up the guy behind the counter. There's always a guy back then because girls wanted nothing to do with video games back then.
No.
Really.
No.
So,
Yeah.
and like they had the whole '70s mustache thing going on. It was like just imagine it.
Yeah.
And then he'd be like, "Well, now you spent all this money on this game, and I don't want to know if you copied it, but you really want me to tell you how to get past this part? You don't want to solve it yourself?" I'm like, no.
No, I totally paid for this game, and I'm totally stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he said, "Well, how about buying this clue book where you can use the magic revealing?"
That's where they get you right there. You know, it's like learn to solve this game, and you're like, oh, I can just read a book and
upsell the kid. Just upsell the kid. You know,
of course, dude. But like I said, my buddy's dad owned the computer store in town, which was amazing that our little town had a computer store. But you know, he was basically servicing our town and like the 8 other little towns our size around our town. You know what I mean? So you know, he did all right.
That's pretty good, man.
But he didn't keep all the games and stuff, you know. So occasionally, like we would go to the mall, which I mean still is. You know, it's
where you
we
go.
don't have a mall here. You know what I mean? It still exists. It's like 70 miles away. You know,
right?
And yeah, so occasionally we would buy a game from there too, but most of that stuff, you know, we were trying to buy it from, you know, our buddy's dad, you know, because because he would if our computers broke, he'd hook us up and he'd barely charge us anything, you know, and shit like that, you know. So like
that was everybody's nightmare, the Commodore 64 external drive dying. And now you can't play your game, and now you have to go to
a brick, dude.
Oh man, it would break like every 6 months. It stopped working.
My old man got me. He got me a Commodore, and I got remember like there was a cassette drive.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a cassette drive for the VIC-20.
Cassette drive. Yeah,
and then there were cartridges. There was also cartridges. Yeah.
Because we had because in Texas, especially, Radio Shack was huge too. Because Tandy, who owned Radio Shack, was out of they were out of Fort Worth.
Now that reminds me of the Texas Instruments. Was it the 1000?
Which was in Dallas.
The TI 1000 or 3000 was it? Yeah.
That was I want to say it was the 1000.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were in the TI was always into industrial shit, but then like they would do stuff like calculators and things too. You know, like that was their.
They still make calculators, exactly.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, and they make a lot of money for those.
Hell yeah! Oh my god, like a buck 20 for a.
Yeah, I know. Like the price of them fancy calculators has not gone down.
It's like every college kid has to get one of these, $200 calculators.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah, I did too. You know.
So,
What do they call it? They're called
Scientific calculators.
graphing calculators.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now they have
Yeah.
screens. Now they have built-in screens and shit that will
Yeah,
graph.
they had like they had the last one I bought because I had to have one too. When I was doing cabinet installs,
Uh-huh.
and so I got a fancy calculator, and it had a screen like that. You know what I mean? It was still like liquid crystal and like old school, but like it was bigger where it could like kind of draw the little graphs and things out and stuff.
That was a big deal back then.
Oh yeah, it's huge. Yeah.
If I remember correctly, that the TI 1000 had an external tape drive that you could load some pretty goofy games onto.
I feel
Really-
like it did.
Really
Because,
primitive stuff. Yeah.
Because because the Radio Shack one was the Tandy. It was like
Yeah.
I think it was like the Tandy 1000 or so. Everything was 1000 back then.
Yeah, everything was 1000.
Or 2000.
Yeah, you start at 1,000 or 100 or something. You never start at like 10.
Yeah.
Like,
and so yeah, it was like, yeah, this was the fancy one. It's the 1000, and you're like, oh, the 1000, no way. Yeah.
Pretty wild.
But like, do you remember all those old remember like when we were kids, like the like all the electronic, like you would get the like they would make like electronic pool. You know what I mean? And you put
they were separate games.
Like
head-to-head football, head-to-head hockey.
right.
Yeah.
You put like 8 like AA batteries in it. You know what I mean? And like,
and you and one other person could play that one game forever. Yeah. I remember those.
It was like there was a football one. I had a billiards one.
Yep. I remember they were called head-to-head.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was the football, and I think there was a baseball one too, wasn't there? That was head-to-head.
They had pretty much every major sport. They had a head-to-head game for. I gotta look this stuff up, man, because I haven't thought about this stuff in like
I had
years,
an old school
like
they couldn't call it Space Invaders, but it was Space Invaders.
Yeah, I had that one.
You know what I'm talking about? Where like they had and like they came out eventually with like a handheld Pac-Man, and and it was like, I can play Pac-Man, like in my
yeah.
Hey, remember Atari Pac-Man and how like shitty it was?
Yeah. And how many joysticks did you break trying to play that game?
Yeah,
right?
And like
it was so bad.
Like Pac-Man was always like one direction. Like it never you go play it at the you go play at the grocery store, like where your mom's like buying groceries or whatever, and like Pac-Man is like, like the midway one, like, if Pac-Man's going up, he's like his mouth's turned
upward,
up. But like the Atari Pac-Man was like always like, it was like this. It was always like this direction,
Right.
Like
they couldn't switch it around. They didn't have the budget or the memory.
That's like, holy shit, I got to get me another 2600 because I got a shitload of cartridges.
That was such a fun but weird experience because like you're like, yeah, I have an Atari now. And yet there was that disappointment of, but it's not the real thing. Yeah. And so exactly what you said, you're playing Pac-Man and it's wrong. You're playing Missile Command and it's wrong. You still want to go to the arcade and dump
it's not like even Pong was fancy in the arcade,
Right.
Yeah. No, but like I don't know, man. I'm just super nostalgic for it, I'll tell you when I think about it, okay? Because like I have one of those like I think it's called like a flashback or something, and like it has all the games preloaded,
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of those. You just get
but Atari makes it because Atari is strangely enough still around, and like and you just HDMI it into your TV,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like and you can play it's got like it'll have like 50 or 100 of like the games already loaded up, you know?
I think I got that. I got something like that for a present a few years back. It has like
Yeah.
everything. It has every ROM ever on it. I don't even know
We
how they
probably have
sell
the
this
same
legally.
one. Do like
Yeah.
are the joysticks wireless and like they
Yep.
light up and shit?
Yep. You
Yeah, we
can
have the
sync.
same thing.
You can sync you.
I think I paid like $60 for mine or something, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's definitely illegal because they have all these
It's
ROMs from other
yeah.
people.
Oh no, they make those HDMI sticks that I think are all pretty much pirated, but like
Yeah.
people still buy. You know, I look at those all the time. You know, because
Yep.
they'll have Nintendo games and all kinds of shit on there.
They'll have the old console games. They'll have the
Yeah.
ones that you played in the arcade.
Yeah,
They'll have like
it's literally behind me in this fucking drawer down here. You know, that I had a working 2600, and it pretty much died like a couple of years ago. But
Mm.
but my old man got into video games, you know, like, you know,
Yeah.
like from me like buying Atari. So like we like, and it was always like during Christmas time, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And like him and I would we would play like Pitfall for like fucking 3 hours, you know,
Yeah.
like just
Yeah.
forever. You know, we never got sick of it, you know. So like when the holidays roll around, that's when I get nostalgic and I plug in the old Atari and you know,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, that's when you would get new games or maybe like a new system.
yeah, you know,
You have family time. I mean, that
yeah.
was it's such an interesting like experience because well, I guess that still kind of exists for a while, you know, or existed because
I
there's still
remember
video games.
I talked him into taking me to like someplace like Western Auto, you know what I mean? It like you know, and like when Pitfall came out, like they had you know, they had it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, I was like, I was like, Dad, like, I promise you're gonna love this game, you know.
Right.
And he's like, I don't know, you know, and like back then, you know, it was like, you know, what was it, like $20, you know? He's
Yeah.
like, I'm not paying that much money for that shit, you know?
Well, that
And
was a
like,
lot of money back then.
yeah, I
Actually.
know. I remember I talked him into it. I was like, dude, I was like, I promise, like it's so good. And so yeah, he gave in and he bought and like literally like he played that son of a bitch all night, you know, like I
Right.
barely got to play, you know.
Right. Yeah, my dad
And
would really get into it. He would get so into it, so
yeah,
intense.
it was fun,
Like,
right? You know.
and if he died, he got really angry. He'd have to
Oh
start
yeah.
over.
Oh
And
yeah,
be
my
like,
old
wait a
man,
second, when is it going to be my turn?
my old man would start to cuss, you know, and
Yep.
just be like,
Yep.
he'd be like, "Damn it,
Like, Mom, Dad broke the
a
joystick.
fucking log rolled over me," you know, or a crocodile ate me, you know, or yeah, he'd get pissed, you know.
Good times.
It was fun, you know. It was, and like those are like serious like Christmas memories that that
Yeah.
are still with me, you know.
Definitely.
Because it's not like he and I were like, you know, it's not like he and I were like all, you know how shit goes. It's not like you're constantly like doing shit together, you know.
No, but it's like that one time a year where you kind of are. Yep.
Yeah.
What was that
So it
movie
was cool.
where there's like the asshole kid has all the cool games and everybody wants to go to his house and it's a big deal to get invited? Oh man. Is this like am I mixing up memories of an 80s movie with something that came out recently or like in the last 10 years?
I mean,
There was that kid that had like the kid had the Nintendo glove that everyone wanted and like it was a real big deal getting invited to the kid's house. I don't know why I'm thinking of this, but it was kind of like
I remember the glove. Like,
yeah.
I don't even know if I knew anybody that had that.
And like so apparently it was actually a pretty shitty device. It really wasn't a good thing.
Yeah. Like my buddy had he had like the first, like basically the first run that had the gun.
Right.
Where like remember Duck Hunt, you know, where you're like sitting there like you're like imagine if they put that game out now. You know what I mean? You're literally sitting there with a gun, like blowing ducks out of the sky, you know?
Yep.
And but Like that was like, you know, I was like, that was like, that thing worked, you know. I was like, oh, this
Yeah,
is
that was
crazy,
pretty
you know.
impressive. That was part of the iteration of all those shooting games because there was that crossbow game in the arcade, and then there was that OK
Oh,
Corral where
I
it's like a
remember
western.
that, dude. Yeah, it had a pistol built in.
It had a
That was
pistol,
the
right?
control.
And you
Yeah,
go
yeah,
through
I remember that
saloons
thing.
in the desert, and you're shooting people in
Totally,
saloons
dude.
and shit. The
Yeah.
people are coming out of the cactuses, and you got to shoot them.
I don't remember. I remember the game that had the crossbow, but I don't remember what it was called.
It was just called Crossbow. I'm
Was
pretty
it?
sure. I'm pretty sure it was called Crossbow. Yeah.
We had an arcade in the mall called Gold Mine.
Uh huh.
You know, and I think at the time it was like a, you know, it was like a, like there was more than one of them, you know.
Right.
But I think those things were pretty regional, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there were some national chains, or maybe regional chains like Northeast or Southwest or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, there was malls, and then there was like, your favorite pizza place or deli that had a couple of games that that's you can only find like you can only find Satan's Hollow at this one deli or
Yeah,
like this
and
one
like
pizza
that's where
place.
you go. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
where you would go play.
exactly.
Like, oh, we gotta play it there. I remember. I remember our Pizza Hut. Okay,
Uh huh.
it had it when you walked in, it had, remember Spy Hunter. It had
Oh
Spy
yeah.
Hunter right there.
When you come out of the truck, when the car comes out of the
Yeah,
truck,
and then
yeah.
and then you're like driving the car,
And that
which was like,
Tommy the
yeah,
Gun was the
yeah,
soundtrack. Right?
it's playing Peter Gunn, like
Yep.
boom 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 boom,
Exactly.
yeah, and then over and then over kind of in the middle of the play, they had it was one of the tabletop ones, and it was Tapper. Remember Tapper?
Tapper. Is that like Breakout?
Tapper was people kept coming up to the bar, and like you had to like
Oh
make,
yeah.
you had to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
beers
yeah.
and like slide them across the
Yes.
bar to them as fast as you could, and then
Mm-hmm.
if you didn't serve them fast enough, they would move at the last minute, and then
Yep.
the beer would go off the end of the bar and break, and like
Right.
that's
You would
when you
have
would
to
like lose a life.
get them the beer before they
Yeah,
came to you, but then you couldn't throw too many beers down because if it fell off the end, then you
yeah,
lose.
yeah, yeah.
Right. Oh my
And they
God.
got real pissed about that, like family groups, it got real pissed about it,
Oh man.
and
Yeah.
because you know it's a bunch of kids are playing a game where like they sling beers across the ball, you
I
know,
know.
and
Yeah.
they made them change it to root beer Tapper.
Yeah. Because that's really what was causing the problems in
Yeah,
the
because
world.
that was the issue, but yeah,
That was the main issue there, right there.
and I think I think you could, you know what, it played two games, and I think the other one was Frogger.
There could have been a bunch of different like one-off machines or maybe even series of machines that had
I think you could
choices.
either pick
Yeah.
Frogger, or you could play Root, or you could play, you know, back then it was Tap. It was just Tap.
I
I
remember a
think you could
bunch of
play either
different
one.
there were so many different tabletops that I remember. Not Tapper so much, but like, Space Invaders,
Mhm.
Galaxian, Galaga.
Oh
There
my
was
god.
there was
Galaxian and Galaga were both like, oh,
yeah.
those were top tier to me,
Yeah.
you know?
I remember my uncle sneaking me into bars and playing Galaxian
Yeah,
when I
because
was a kid.
it was so
I
badass.
know.
He's like, hey, the kid's just gonna play the game,
Yeah, he's
okay?
gonna play
Like,
asteroids.
and
His
like
mom
they
just
didn't give
pawned
a
them off
shit
on me.
because
Yeah,
like you were feeding quarters into the thing. They're like, yeah, okay, don't give him
yeah.
a beer, you know?
I mean, yeah, my uncle was in his
Yeah,
20s, and I'm like,
yeah,
he's like, what? I wasn't that much younger than him,
right. No, I know, I guess, but like, yeah. And then across the street, okay, so we had the Pizza Hut, and then across the street we had a Dairy Queen, and it had
Uh-huh.
one of those badass. Remember Gauntlet?
Oh, that's the OG right there
It had
with
one
the
of those,
4 joysticks.
like the big,
Yes.
the big one, like the
Yeah. Oh,
that
yeah.
thing was a beast. Like I think they had to
Yep.
take out a fucking booth to put that son of a bitch in there, you know?
It was at
And
least
like,
twice the size of a normal
oh,
machine.
it's
Yeah.
huge. Yeah, yeah. And like we would go over there, you know, I mean, and we would just dump because that wasn't one of them quarter situations. I think it was at
Mhm.
least 50 cents to fire that son of a bitch up.
Just to get one like measly 100
Yeah.
points of health was 50
Yeah, I
cents.
know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that shit would go quick because that was not
Yeah.
an easy game. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just like you know, oh goddamn, what is it? Dragon Slayer?
Oh, that was the money grab. You
What
know
was
what?
that?
And
That thing was like $1. Like they even talk about that in Stranger Things, don't they?
yeah,
About how expensive
season
it
2.
is. Yeah.
It's in season 2.
Yeah.
That game is, it's like first of all, Don Bluth is a fucking living legend,
Oh,
right?
that guy's amazing for
Yeah.
sure.
And he made that. He made that video game. And it's
Yeah.
like if you actually play it from beginning to end, it's not that long. So, but they made it so hard. Like you had to
Well,
remember all
yeah,
these.
that's how they that's how they got the cash out of you. It's not that it took a long
No.
time to get through it. It's just
And
that
like
it was so hard to do it.
there wasn't that much material in there. Some of the boards were just mirror images
I'm
of the
sure
same
it was.
thing.
I mean, because it was all animation, dude. It was like
Yeah,
real
he
projected
hand drew that
animation.
stuff. He
Yeah,
hand
so it
drew it.
was like,
Yeah.
I'm sure it was expensive as fuck.
And it was like one of the first laser discs of its kind. So
Yeah,
I think the console ran a laser disc inside it.
I think that is how it ran.
Yeah. And then
See,
it came out for digital, which like sucked.
my
But
buddy Ross, his grandpa had his grandpa had a warehouse. He had a company. Like that's what he did. He's back in the day. He'd stock he stocked bars with pinball machines, cigarette machines, and pool tables
okay.
where you put the quarters in, you know, and that's
Yep.
he would that's what he did. He would stock all that shit in bars. Well, when
Yeah.
video games came out, suddenly like my buddy's grandpa has a fucking warehouse full of video games.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So we would, we could go up there and like whatever they had in the shop at the time, they would just let us play it.
That's the holy grail, man.
Oh yeah, dude.
That was the holy grail.
I mean, goddamn, we like for free. I think we played Defender one day for like 6 hours, dude, just like one after the other, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it was like we were like, we got really good at those, like and like Centipede, they'd always have a Centipede machine up there, and so we got a lot of practice in on those things,
Yeah. You would need to, like, it's hard to go back after a week, but if you spend like an hour or two, you can get pretty decent at the game.
Yeah,
and it's like,
for sure.
that was my frustration when I was a kid. After about an hour, like my mom would just yank me, pull me out of it, just when I was getting good. I would run out of money and mom would say, it's time to go.
You must stride, Mom. You don't understand.
I'm almost there.
Yeah. I'm about to get the high score.
About to get my name up there, yeah.
And she's like, look, man, I gotta get home and make your old man like hamburger helper. I don't have time for this bullshit, okay? So like,
yeah, your brother needs to whatever.
Yeah,
go.
Get your shit and go. It's time to go.
Oh man, so funny. What memories?
I mean, they're I don't know if they're better memories than people are having nowadays, but
I'm sure it's all relative.
I'm sure it's all relative, of course, and I know I'm nostalgic about things, but it seems like they were easy memories, like they were. it seemed like it was such an easier time, you know?
It was easier but harder. Like the stuff you wanted was somehow, I felt it was like out of reach in the sense that you don't have so you would have to have exactly what you described, like a friend's uncle that had a shop, or you
Oh
knew
yeah,
someone that,
for
right?
sure,
So
of
everything
course.
is like kind of out there, and like adults are the gateway to it until, of course, you get older, and then
It
you
didn't
start.
already work. It didn't always work out. Like,
No, it didn't
do
always
you
work out.
remember? Like I remember one year, and like, and another thing too. My mom worked in a department store,
Uh-huh.
and she worked in it was like sporting goods and toys.
Yeah.
Okay, so my mom would be like, "Hey, Boba Fett came in," and like,
Oh my God! Right?
yeah. So I mean, I had a hookup there, okay,
Yeah.
but
See?
they would go to these trade shows. They'd have to go, because back in the day,
Right?
there was no internet and shit. You'd have to go to these fucking trade shows, and
Uh-huh.
like, and all the, and like Mattel would give you like a huge catalog, and like,
Right.
because they'd all have booths, and like that's how you would order shit. Like, and they would give you like Kenner would give you, and like she would come home with like a stack of these fucking catalogs,
That's amazing.
and she
Yeah.
would hand them to. I
And
wish
you
I
could just
still
spend
had,
like a whole
and I
day
wish
looking
I
through
still
those.
had
Right.
them all.
Right.
And I was the most popular motherfucker in school because I would bring them to school and I'd go, "Hey, look at all the Star
Right.
Wars shit that's coming out," and like people were
That's
like,
right.
"Oh my God,"
Yeah.
So yeah, I got to cheat a little bit, So
Well,
I kind of
but
knew.
that's how it worked. You had to have a connection. Otherwise, you were
Sure.
always on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
And also, I remember hearing no a lot. You know what I'm saying? When I
I
was,
mean, even I heard no a lot.
yeah, a lot.
It's not like she could bring me new Star Wars shit every day.
No. But that's also what lit a fire under my ass. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna work, so I don't hear no.
Yeah. That did push me to put up with a lot of bullshit.
A lot of bullshit just so I could save up. And at the end of the week or the
Boy,
month,
you
maybe,
want all them fancy Dungeons and Dragons books? Well, better start sweeping floors.
Yeah. That's how I learned to eat shit so I could,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It'd be like, hey, yeah, whatever, dude, but I'm rolling to the mall this weekend. I'm hooking up some fucking world of, the world of great, what was that shit? Like, I'm about to hook me up some fucking Dungeons and Dragons shit, Greyhawk shit. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying it was better or worse. It's different. It's relative. There's different.
It's all, I mean, I know it's all relative, and like, we were in a much more physical world, and now it's sort of like a much more digital place. And
there was no such thing yet as like, okay, taking your parents' credit card, and throwing it on some kind of like account and buying what you want on eBay. That did not exist. That was not a thing.
No.
And then you could do like, cash on delivery sea monkeys or something, and your dad would be like, "What the fuck is this that you put?"
What did you do?
Yeah. Sea monkeys. What the fuck?
The only thing we ever got away with was the fucking Columbia tapes and record thing,
Everybody got in on that scam. How did they make money? Because how did that fucking thing make money?
I really don't know. I'd just like to throw this out there. I paid for every one of those CDs.
Yeah, right.
So
it was like what? You like spend a couple of pennies and you get like 10 free cassettes.
You know what? It was literally a situation where you'd put your address down there, okay, on a postcard, prepaid postage, and you would tape a penny, like with Scotch tape, to a
physical
postcard,
penny.
a physical
Right.
penny. Yeah. And, hey, what's up, Jen Sam? And you would mail that
Jen
thing in.
Sam. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like a couple weeks later, you get a box in the mail that's got like, 12 fucking cassettes,
Yep.
for free,
And then, but then you had to pay later. It was one of those things you had to like. You got the penny in.
You got the first. We just been waiting on you, waiting on new movie review. That's it. That's what's up.
We're gonna have to probably weigh in on Spider-Man if we see it, which I heard is fucking amazing. Yeah,
I hear it's amazing too. It's already made plenty of money. No, you and yet no, they would. You got the. It was literally like a drug dealer. Okay.
Yeah.
You get the first 12 tapes for free, and then they would start. They'd send you a little catalog, and you'd have to mail the thing back, and like say, yeah, I don't want anything. And if you didn't mail it back, they would send you the tape of the month or whatever.
Right.
In whatever, like if you were signed up for rock or whatever your thing was, So next thing you know, you've got like a, you got like a fucking Nina Cherry CD or some shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like with a bill, like, hey, you owe us $9.99.
Tapes? Didn't it start with tapes?
Yeah. Well, honestly, I should do a deep dive on this because this would be a hell of a good episode.
Yeah.
But I want to say they started with actual record albums.
Yeah, because I remember some of my friends doing this back in like late middle school or even ninth grade.
They were doing it before. I think they had this thing rolling before everybody was buying cassettes.
And here's the connection with having a connection. So these friends of mine that were doing this scam had way older brothers that were doing this scam.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and your shit would be like their address, but it would be like mail those to Mike Hunt, or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's where all the good stuff came from older brothers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All the horrible stuff and all the good stuff came from
they'd be like, hey man, I got a couple of fucking Kiss albums. Here's one for you,
Oh wait, never mind that VHS tape. Give me that back.
Yeah, and they would hook you up, or they would be like, hey man, you need to listen to this,
right?
And it would always be some shit that like blows your mind,
That's how it trickled down. Again, back to access.
That's how you learn. That's how you learn shit. That was it was like it was either like you're talking about like a young sort of shady uncle. Or like or like somebody's big brother with like that's where you'd get all your fucking life advice from, and like that's where you learned about like movies and music and whatever,
Right. What's that meme where it's a bunch of kids? What's that meme where it's a bunch of kids sitting in lawn chairs around this one guy, and it's like the weird uncle telling stupid stories, like drinking beers and making shit up. Yeah. This was our social media. It's like
back in the day, this was our Google, or whatever. Yeah. I saw that one the other day, and I laughed my ass off. I was like, "Yep, that's how it was."
Yeah.
Props, Uncle JoJo. Thanks, man. Thanks for hooking me up with all that music.
We all had our urban legends. We all had our like fake news from Uncle whatever, and this one's brother and that one's.
Anybody did anybody ever take you? Anybody ever take you out in the middle of the woods at night and like make you go snipe hunting?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, here's the deal. Okay, this was like
pretty weird. It sounds pretty scary.
This is a fucking this is a southern kind of a rite of passage.
Okay.
So what you do is like all these like older brothers or older kids would like get a bunch of like these younger knuckleheads, freshmen, and shit together,
Yeah.
and they take you out in the woods, and they would tell you, they're like, we're going snipe hunting. Do y'all want to go with us? And like, you remember what it was to be that age. It's like the cool older dudes want to like hang out with us. Fuck
I'm
yeah,
gonna be cool.
we're going. Yeah. I don't give a fuck what we're doing. Let's roll,
Yep.
And so they'd be like, yeah, we're going snipe hunting. And so they give you like a bunch of like burlap sacks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
and so they would tell you that, okay, there's just, they'd be like, and like, if anybody's like, well, I don't know, what's a snipe? I don't even know. What are we looking for? And they're like, well, it's kind of like a bird, but like, it kind of moves like a squirrel, it'd be some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, and like, you're a dipshit. You don't know, and you're like, yeah, okay. Yeah. And so,
I think I know where this is going. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. And so they would, they'd send you, they'd get you out in the middle of fuck nowhere where you don't know where in the fuck you are or like how to get back. You know what I mean? And they'd be like, okay, now here, look, y'all don't know what you're doing, but like all you have to do, y'all hold the bags open. We're going to go shake the bushes and the trees. The snipes will run towards you. And then when you see it coming, you just grab it in the bag. And then that's how you catch it. And we're like, okay, yeah, cool. Obviously, they would go like, okay, we're going to go shake the tree. And then they'd leave your ass out there. You know what I mean? And then you're walking like 3 miles back to fucking town. Like, don't know where the fuck you are.
And then you've been initiated, right?
Yeah, and then you're, and then if you're not when you finally make it back, if you're not a little bitch about it, then suddenly you're oh yeah, he's yeah, so and so's little brother, he's all right,
Yeah, he's cool. Yeah, he's
all right,
Yeah,
but
we have similar things.
Yeah, I feel like every place has a thing like that, but like that was that one was pretty popular.
That was fun, yeah.
And then like, but another thing too was it was like a Fight Club situation. Like you didn't run your mouth about snipe hunting.
Right.
So then you could turn around and like do the same thing to a bunch of knuckleheads who were coming up after you.
And so it just goes on and on.
And so it continues. It's a rite of passage.
That's right.
Which we don't have really.
And if you think about it, it's a pretty gentle kind of hazing.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just like, it's like, okay. Yeah. Because like, if you didn't show up after, like if you're not back by morning, they're going to come find your dumb ass, and like.
It didn't matter, man. We lived in a different world. I mean, my friends and I would bicycle like 7-8 miles just to get to another town where they had video games. I mean, that was
it's like,
it didn't matter. It's like, oh wait, you'd be like, all right, bye, I'll see you later. You'd come home for dinner. You'd leave in the morning.
Because you'd eventually, even the slowest amongst you would eventually figure it out and be like, oh, okay, they fucked us. They left us out here. All right, let's start walking back.
We would cover a lot of distance on bikes.
But it would be fun, you know what I mean? Well, they didn't take us out there with bikes or whatever, you know what I mean? They didn't make it easy for us.
No, we would do stupid shit at night, like ring and run.
Of course.
Or, we'd break into like forest preserves and like private property with huge lawns and like forests, acres of property where there was rumors about stuff. And we'd do shit like that. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, they take us out places where like, oh yeah, this is where all the Satan worshipers hang out.
Exactly, yes. And there was always a rumor of that one guy who like got shot with the salt gun. So like,
right.
There's always like rumors about the other person.
And for us, I mean, I think me and Bob used to go out there and take pictures a lot. But like, I think I've shown it on stream before. Where it's like not too far from where I am. There's an old sawmill,
Oh, there
and
it
so
is.
yeah, and so which is still the buildings are pretty intact
Mm-hmm.
because it literally burned down like 100 years ago, and
Yep.
then they rebuilt it out of stone and concrete. So the I mean there won't really be roofs and shit, but like there's still 3 or 4 big buildings out there that are
Yeah.
the walls are still intact, you know what I mean? And like, people go out there and like it's near like a natural spring where people hang out. And like people go out there and like, you go out there and party and like drink beers and shit. And
That
like
was always the best. Exactly. Breaking
and
into an old
put
abandoned place.
graffiti on, and paint
Yep.
graffiti on the thing, and so they would,
And
they'd be like,
if you didn't,
hey,
yeah.
this, that's where the devil worshippers are, and then there'd always be some, like you're talking about, like some story, like some kid like fucking got murdered out there by some
Yep.
dude that's got a hook for a
Yep.
hand, Yeah,
Somebody got grabbed in the dark and they had like a
yeah.
scar on their hand. I mean,
And
some
then,
crazy.
they
But
still
what we
see
talked
they
about,
still see the kid wandering around out there at night and
exactly,
shit. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
We talked about like the legend of like the white woman. There was one of those, and we'd always go down this road hoping to run into that thing
Oh yeah,
because
yeah.
there
The
was
woman in white. Yeah, for
right.
sure.
So there was this rumor or this story of a friend, and everyone knew this story where they were driving, and then there was this ghostly old woman that was keeping up with the car, right? So which is impossible. And
Yeah,
yet we'd all go down there on foot in this
just to
dark,
see. Yeah,
pitch black,
yeah,
windy road in the
sure.
woods.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
And I mean, I live in a place where there's a lot of tree, a lot of forest, and a lot of
yeah.
places like that. So
There was so many abandoned places by me, like abandoned churches, nunneries. There
oh
was
yeah.
like there was
I mean,
like
we don't not
Indian
nunneries, but you know what I'm
Indian
talking about.
burial grounds. There was Indian burial grounds. There was like preserves. There was all this stuff with stories attached to it. So like life at night was was on fire. I mean, life would turn on at night, and it was just being out there trying to engage these myths, these stories, and just like test them.
Yeah, and I mean that is okay. Look, I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but I think the way we were raised and like who we were that time period,
Yeah,
those were important coming of age rituals for our generation.
probably. That's an
You
interesting.
know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it evokes something. Even now, when I think about it, it evokes something that is almost like sacred. And of course, you can analyze it. It's goofy and nothing was going to happen. It was natural. If anything, you were going to get hurt in the dark, like tripping on a rock, falling into a stream,
Yeah,
getting
like
getting
like
bit by a rabid raccoon or something. Like
like
that's the kind of
falling into
shit.
the river.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
know. I hear you.
But
But
that sense of awe and
it was
mystery.
but it was very rare that something like that actually happened. So,
Exactly. It was very rare, but that's like what something like Stranger Things, the first season anyway, captured. That like sense of like mystery, and yet you have to explore it no matter how dangerous and scary it
yeah.
sounds. Yeah.
I think that's I think that is beyond the just general nostalgia of it,
Yep.
right? Because I mean, we used to run around on like, I mean, we all grew up on like dirt roads and shit. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like we weren't like riding bikes and shit as much as like you guys were, like
Mhm.
we were basically driving before we were supposed to be driving, shit like
Well,
that.
there was some of that too, I
Yeah,
think.
but like, but like we would run around and like we were talking to people in like CBs and like walkie
Yep.
talkies and shit,
Oh
yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah. It was like that was like that was a thing because
Yep.
the world you couldn't just Google shit.
No, you
So
had to explore. You had to explore in real life.
Yes, the world was a lot more mysterious.
Yeah. And you had to back to physical media. You had to physically engage it.
Yeah,
You had to touch it. You had to walk it. You had to feel it. You couldn't search it. Not yet.
absolutely. And I think I feel like and I may be talking out of my ass here and taking this a little too far, but I've been thinking about that a lot lately. And from what I keep seeing, there's a general feeling of that sort of like Gen Z and whatever the other, I don't know what the other, I can't remember what the other one's called. Anyway, these younger age groups where they're sort of like starting to want to disengage from technology in a way, and
Yeah, that's. I
I
mean, I
keep
don't
feeling like
see.
I keep hearing that they are becoming much more interested in tangible things and not as much as like say millennials were as far as like embracing the digital world,
Yeah, so I guess there's a difference of when something is really on the up and up and it's getting more exciting and interesting, where something has reached like a peak, and now the new or exciting thing is going backwards or stepping away
I
from
don't know
what's
if that
established.
to us, I feel like our perception is that they are embracing the past. I feel like to them, I feel like there may be something subconsciously in our brains that pushes us, and we don't even realize it, that pushes us to engage with like the tangible world. And I feel like that's been repressed for a couple of generations.
Yeah,
You
I mean
know?
it's an interesting question, and to me it's open. I
Yeah.
don't really know.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I'm at that place now where I'm looking at it and going, what do we really think is going on here? What do we think this means? Because
Right.
I have to take my own personal bias out of it, because I'm just like, oh, well, they're just figuring out that like real shit's better, But I can't put that on them, like,
Yeah.
oh, they're smartening up and starting to think like me. I mean, that's kind of a douchey way to
I
think,
It's got to be different. I mean, every generation's different in its own way, but it's also
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
It's also similar. So it's like they have the options that we don't. They have the best of all worlds and the worst of all worlds. Really.
Because we've been in a period of, I feel like right at about 20 years where we were like, yeah, let's go to the internet and let's live online. And I feel like everybody's starting to sort of reject that a little bit now and want to actually interact with real people and do real things out in the tangible universe.
Right, because what's the, like I was saying, Gen Z or millennials, even our generation, this stuff was still developing and kind of accelerating, progressing, and there was a new thing. Always on what's the new thing now? Like what really is there?
AI.
Well, yeah, but that's not.
And
Yeah.
to me, AI is like AI is literally born out of desperation,
Which is the
because
saddest. Which is the saddest endpoint, if it is an endpoint,
yeah.
because you're sitting there talking to something that is mimicking a human being, or
And I feel like I feel like it is a situation where it really is a desperate move on the tech companies, because it was kind of their last play.
Well, it's been. I mean, AI has been in the works for decades. We're talking about going back to Alan
Not,
Turing and
but I don't. You'd have to be like a really hardcore futurist to. I don't think people
well, I think what you're talking about
perceive.
is the current the like okay, so the current popularization of the AI LLM,
You're
right?
correct.
The,
And that's
yeah,
exactly the state of being that I'm talking about. Not
right.
that the technology itself is bad. I've never said that. But I think that the way that it's being rolled out and pushed and the way that they're trying to get people hooked on it like they got people hooked on cigarettes and fucking social media. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's the problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, there's always that kind of addictive quality to the new thing.
Yeah.
And you can
Yeah.
argue video games were the addiction, and before that it was cigarettes and maybe TV in some cases, and you know, um,
How many people do you really know that went through a total psychotic freak out though over video games? If you
I mean,
really think
it's
about it,
happened. It's
it's
happened, but it's
happened. Of course
right,
it's happened.
right.
But
I'm thinking of remember the term vidiot,
yeah, I do.
VIDIOT.
I do remember that.
Remember that it was like I'd get like the
Yeah.
Run magazine, and
Yeah.
they would
Yeah.
say, "Don't be a vidiot." It was like
Yeah.
this kid, and I was
Yeah. I mean,
like,
yeah, and that's valid, of course. But
right? No, but no. I think no, I agree
we
with you.
have a
AI
situation.
psychosis is
We
something
have
new.
a
Yeah,
thing. We have a okay. We have a thing that is mimicking being a person.
yeah.
This is new. This is a new
Right.
frontier. You know.
This is new, and the younger and even the older folks, some of them just can't handle it. It's just
Oh,
not
I feel
right.
like it's just going to be like
Yeah.
Facebook's like Facebook psychosis. I feel like it's really going to fuck with like the older generations more than it is the
Well, whoever has
yeah
something missing in whatever that part of their life is
yeah
that needs to relate and is going to find something maybe there that is unwholesome. For sure. For sure.
yeah. And I mean, I'm not saying it's all going to be bad, but what I'm saying is you have a we've never had a situation before, as far as I know. Correct, anybody can always correct me if I'm wrong. Where you have a thing that is like doing a relatively decent job mimicking being a person.
Yeah, and if you don't know the subject matter that you're engaging on it with,
Yeah.
it could take you down some pretty stupid roads.
And you also have a thing now that has the ability to create deep fake and video content that's gonna end up making I feel like we're gonna see some really fucked up shit
Well, that's the part that
between the before the mid now that the midterms are coming up. I feel like we're gonna start to see some shit that we're like, okay, is that real? Did they
yeah,
really
I think
say
that
that?
ship sailed, man. I think that ship sailed
Yeah,
already
yeah, no,
because
I know,
yeah.
yeah. And
And-
you have a thing that's like where you basically you log into Facebook and you're like,
huh?
is this real?
Yeah, no. I avoid those sites like the plague.
And yet, well,
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, but it's gonna transcend that, and what it's gonna do is it's gonna make people it's gonna make people have psychotic breaks because they're not gonna be able to trust their own reality.
Yeah, and
They're
it's
not
a
gonna be able to
slow
trust
boil.
what they see and hear.
It's a slow boil because
Yeah.
more and more of that is going to get interleaved into what they consider their real feed.
I feel like
And
that's
then,
dangerous. You're gonna start
yeah.
getting phone calls, and it's gonna sound like your kid going,
Yep.
"Hey, I'm stranded. I need you to send me money."
Have you heard Chat GPT's different voices? It sounds like a person who halts, says stutters,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
trips over words. they've programmed it to sound as
Yeah, it sounds like me. It
natural.
says like every other fucking word. You
Yeah,
know.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, at least the sci-fi movies had robots that sounded like robots. You know?
I'm seriously though. Like think of all the you know, and I mean I'm not trying to be ageist here or whatever, but think of all the poor sweet grandmas who are getting phone calls right now
Yeah,
and getting roped into scams already.
yeah.
Just
I think
imagine if it sounds like their grandkid is calling them.
exactly. I think the younger generation is going to do better with it. I think the more susceptible ones are the
Yeah,
people that
are the
really
older
can't.
people. Yeah,
Yeah, just like when those bullshit emails came out about the Nigerian prince that
exactly. Yeah.
it's like, oh no, I gotta help this person. I'm gonna be rich.
Yeah, I mean that's always been the grift, right? But
Yeah,
now there's technology that's like, hey, you know, you don't know if this is real or not, and I
yeah.
mean, just look at the last say 10 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
People are already believing every fucking thing they see on like places like Facebook and Instagram.
It must be true. It's there.
And it
Yeah.
wasn't even convincing. It was just like dumb memes and stuff.
It was
you know?
piercing. Exactly.
Yeah. Now you've got a situation where like, oh well fuck, that looks real. That must be
looks
real.
sounds real.
Yeah.
Wow, is that Arnold Schwarzenegger fucking a cow?
Or
What is
whatever kind of weird shit you can see, you know, or like you know, who you're planning on voting for president or whatever.
Yeah.
Like says a bunch of shit and like it looks and sounds just like them.
Yep.
You're like, well, I saw it on, you know, my friend sent it to me on Facebook. He's on the, you know, he was on the news. He said it.
Artie,
you know,
I know someone tried to ransom them with like a fake dossier of
know
like
people
pictures.
who I know people who they've tried that shit on too.
Yep.
I
And
really
it's
do.
pretty impressive.
I know.
They can make a whole portfolio of like,
I know
pornography or
people who have some money. And hey, look, man, I'm always look. Yeah, you pull that shit on me. I'm like, I guess everybody's gonna see my fake AI dick. I don't know, you know.
Make me famous. Make me
yeah,
famous.
Sure. I'm not. Yeah.
It'll be great for your movie and book career.
Yeah, whatever, you know.
I mean, it's like these days you got to have a scandal, right, to be like really popular.
I mean, who knows? I might be like, damn, they did a pretty good job. Okay. You know? Yeah. I'm just don't try that shit on me, yo.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna work.
Yeah, no, they got to go for somebody with like a really like important sort of
hey man, look, I'm just gonna tell you, I'm poor. All right, so don't try that shit on me.
I'm poor. I buy VHSs by the box.
Yeah, okay, show everybody my ass. I don't give a fuck.
Oh man. Yeah.
What am I gonna do about it? But yeah, it's it's a crazy time, bro. Crazy time.
I mean, it's good not to be high profile. It's good.
Yeah. I'm as high profile as I think I'm ever gonna get. That's good enough for me. This is it.
It's all.
This is it. Yeah,
I'm a legend of East Texas.
Show everybody my fake AI ass. I don't care. Throw it out there.
Oh man.
Don't give a fuck.
Too much. Well,
this ended up being a good talk, man. Thanks for coming on. This was fun.
Thanks for having me. It was just I wasn't expecting anything. I was like, I just logged in. I'm like, oh shit. Jesse's live.
I was just gonna go live for a few minutes and like bullshit with whoever was around and like
right.
But yeah, no, this turned into a whole thing and like it was fun as shit, man. Thanks.
It was a nice stroll down memory lane. Thank you.
It was fun. All right, well, hey man, you have a good night. I'm getting out of here too. I'm gonna watch a movie, I think, and then crash out.
Oh, by the way, thank you for the recommendation of Sugar on Apple. It is awesome.
Bro, now I gotta start watching that again because I gave it up.
I'm on season 1, episode 6 or something. It is such a cool like mashup of like old Hollywood noir detective stuff with new.
I mean, I really need to watch it. You know, I think I gave up like 3 episodes in.
Why? It's so you. It's totally you.
I don't remember, man. You know, you know how it is. Sometimes you start watching stuff and you're just not feeling it. You know.
Yeah, I got you.
I don't know.
It's just it's rare that I get excited about a show that I can watch.
Hey man,
I'm kind of
look,
excited about it.
you and like Jen and a couple other people have just raved about it, you know, and now I'm
Yeah.
like, well, shit, now I need to go back and watch it.
Well, it's an interesting mix because you probably remember it does little cuts to nostalgic Hollywood movie scenes, like classic movies.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like
And
the guy's living in his
I'm
head.
into
He's
that
like,
shit.
he wants to be, it's like a whole Colin Farrell thing. And it's really
And
interesting.
I just generally like Colin Farrell too.
Yeah, he's all right. He's all right.
I've always thought he, you know, I think he picks cool shit for the most part to be in, and he always does a good job.
He was the original villain in Daredevil. I forget
I
the name of
forgot the Ben Affleck one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was Bullseye.
Bullseye. He was Bullseye to Ben Affleck's
Shit,
Daredevil.
I totally forgot about that.
And then he was in Minority Report, where you think he's the bad guy, but he's not.
Yeah, you know what? Minority Report. Look, I've been on a Tom Cruise kick lately.
Okay.
And like, I just never have kind of been a Cruise dude, you know?
Right.
But like, my opinion has completely changed. Like, that didn't make
actor. I mean,
not that I didn't know he was a good actor and he made good movies,
right.
But like, I have literally been on a kick, and I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
This guy's, because I would like watch his like sci-fi shit, like you're talking about, like Minority Report, and like I thought that War of the Worlds that he made with Spielberg was pretty good, you know?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, you know, for like a War of the Worlds remake, I was like, yeah, okay,
it was all right. Cool. It was all right. Yeah.
You know? And
he plays a good everyman. He plays a good leading man. He plays a good action hero. I mean, he's a really good actor. I think he's just
I've been catching up on all his shit, man.
Yeah.
And like
the problem is his personal life. His other stuff.
Okay. I didn't want to get into that, but you know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, I'm always kind of like, but you know, I kind of don't give a shit anymore. I'm like, that's none of my business, man.
Right. I mean, at my job, I want to be known for what I'm doing at work. That's
exactly right. Like, okay,
exactly.
But yeah, dude, like, oh shit, I just dropped them all. But like, look, I got like a whole stack of fucking Mission Impossibles, dude. I was like,
oh man,
I'm like going through it because I've only seen like the first one.
Perfect example. Those series of movies are okay. Whatever you want to talk about them.
Yeah, I got like a whole fucking stack.
Yeah, the first one was fucking amazing. First of all, it was just amazing.
I remember, and I remember seeing it in the theater. Like,
also,
like, do you remember when he made? It was about 10, not quite 10 years ago, but he made like his version of like The Mummy.
Yes, you mentioned that on Substack, and in fact, I'm going to watch it because it got panned so badly.
So bad, and I grabbed I literally grabbed a copy of it the other day for like 50 cents. You know,
listen,
and
if you go to Universal Studios, the theme park, or if you, especially at Epic, it's as if there's a whole monster universe that was actually made and produced and happened, and it's alive and well at Universal Epic.
I know,
I'm telling you,
they were
it's
gonna
so weird.
That movie was gonna kick off the dark Universal monster universe.
And that universe is alive and well at Universal Studios theme park.
I've done a deep dive. They were gonna do they were gonna do a new Dracula. They were gonna do like, I think like Frankenstein with Javier Bardem.
Yep.
You know, like they were starting
Monster,
to plan all
the
this
Mummy,
shit out. Yeah.
Phantom of the whole
And
bit.
I watched that movie the other night, and I was like, why didn't people like this? I mean, like, it's pretty good, you know? I just didn't get it. Well, and then I watched like Collateral the other day, which is amazing, you know?
Yeah. That was him and Charlize Theron, or the other one?
It was him and
I forget.
Well, it's him and Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx. I'm thinking of the one with him and the girl from this something about Cameron Diaz. He was in.
that's called like he made 2 with hers. He
Yeah.
made Vanilla Skies and she was in it.
Right.
And he also made I grabbed a copy of that the other day too. It's called and I haven't watched it yet. It's called Night and Day.
Night and Day. That's right. He's like him and her. She's like the accidental.
I didn't even know it existed. I got to be honest.
That's actually a fun action movie. Yes.
Yeah. And so I watched his Jack Reacher the other day. You know?
Yeah, not bad.
And
not bad.
I mean,
and also, you know what? The Last Samurai.
I watched it for Warner. You know,
did you watch The Last Samurai? The Last Samurai.
I've always been down with that one. Yeah. I saw that one in the theater too.
Me too.
I grabbed I was able to pick up I got a Blu-ray of that one the other day.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the rewatch.
Yeah, no, TC does good work, you know?
Yeah, I mean I've completely changed my opinion. And I have every Mission Impossible movie now except 3. So you know, as soon as I can score a copy of Mission Impossible 3, I'm just gonna roll right through all of them. Someday.
I think 3 is when they got back on track with the feel of the first movie. The second one was that Ang Lee, where it was a little bit artsy and kind of stylized.
Yeah, I don't know.
It didn't quite fit. He had long hair, and
Mission Impossible 2 has Tom Cruise, Doug Ray Scott, and Tandy Newton.
Yeah, it was a very different feel.
This one was directed by John Woo. That's crazy.
John Woo, there it is. Yeah.
Well,
it just didn't feel like the first movie.
It kind of went off. And then, like I said, I don't have 3.
Yep.
And then I got
and all the Ghost Recons came out and shit, and it's like then
Rogue
like part
Nation,
1.
and I got
part 1, part 2. Yep.
Got a couple copies of Roast It. Ghost Protocol.
Yeah, Ghost Protocol. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think is like 5, maybe 4.
Well, I mean, they're up to 7 now.
They started at some point they started not numbering them.
Right. It became like
because I had to do a whole thing where I was like, I had to figure out which ones I didn't have.
Dead Reckoning Part 1, Dead Reckoning Part 2.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it basically replaced the James Bond genre.
Yeah, it was because there was a time there where Jason Bourne filled that space.
Yes. Yeah, the Bourne Identity, the Bourne Supremacy, all those, right?
Which I gotta be honest, I never got too turned on.
No, they didn't really stick the way Mission Impossible did.
Yeah, but the guy really commits, and I'll tell you what got me into it. He's got that new movie coming out, and he made a lot of videos lately of like him like talking about shooting on actual film, like widescreen shit, and like
wow, okay,
and like he's on these movies, and like he's the one that's like talking to the interviewer guy and like showing him how these like really sophisticated like cameras and shit work, and that's not a thing you can fake. And I was like,
whoa,
Tom Cruise is really putting in the work,
Yeah. No, I think he's.
I was like,
he's pretty OG, man. He's pretty OG.
Yeah. So I mean, shit, go for it.
Whatever his stuff. I get it, whatever. But I mean, all I care about, he's a good actor. That's all I care about.
I'm just gonna forget about the rest of that shit.
I'm not living his life. I'm not his.
God bless, but whatever. Xenu bless.
I'm not his ex-wife.
I'm not connected to any of that. You guys and the lawyers can work all that shit out.
Exactly.
I just want to watch Mission Impossible movies. That's all.
I want to watch good movies. Exactly.
All right, man. Have a good night.
You as well, sir. Good night. Thanks for having me on.
All right, buddy. See you later.
Bye.